Hello, everyone, and welcome to Body Bags. I'll be your review for today. I'm Lonnie from Terror and Tats, and I'm sure you've already figured out this week that we're doing a theme week, and the theme is horror movies that take place on an island, so island horror. And I do apologize in advance because I do think that this movie has been reviewed on the channel before, but well, now you get it again from another perspective. And the movie that I'm reviewing, what year? This was 2004, and this is the horror comedy Broken Lizards Club Dread. And I really do like this movie, even though I gotta be honest, the first time I saw it, I did not like it. It's like, why? Because, it was a horror movie with a comedy. Actually, no, it's kind of the opposite. This ended up being I went into this expect because it's like I like Broken Lizard. I love at at the time this movie came out, I loved their first two movies, Puddle Cruiser and Super Troopers. And I thought they were really good, funny guys. And I thought, oh, okay, this could be a good. This could probably be really funny, and yeah, okay, a little bit of a horror element to it. All right, I'm down with that. But then come to find out, it's actually it's not really a comedy movie with a little horror element to it. It's more a horror movie that just happens to have a little bit of humor in it. At least that's my take on it. And so the first time I watched this movie, I really did not like it. And it wasn't really what I expected it to be. But over time, I've watched it, several times over the years, and it's one of those movies. The more I watch it, the more it grows on me. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest. The first time I saw it, I just didn't care for it. The story is it's basically it's a slasher movie, in a nutshell. You begin the movie, you got this guy. It's very very and that's kind of the thing that. Sorry, I'm kind of all over the place. The movie begins. We got we're at Coconut Pete's private resort, which is an island, and this singer Coconut Pete, who's played by the late great Bill Paxton, and Bill Paxton is amazing in this movie, which I'll get to that. It's one of the reasons I'll get to it, but it's one of the reasons why I didn't like the movie the first time I saw it. But anyway, so you got Coconut Pete, Bill Paxton's character, and he's basically kind of a Jimmy Buffett type, and as a matter of fact, there's even a joke in the movie where they compare him. This girl compares him to Jimmy Buffett. She's like, she's like, play Margaritaville. And he's like, I think you mean my song, Pina Coladaburg. And she's like, no, Pina Coladaville. Or, no, Margaritaville, and all this stuff. But anyway, so they're on this island. And the whole point of this island, it's a vacation, it's a resort island. And the whole idea is, like, people come to this island, like they pay, they take vacations there. And basically, it's pretty much just sex, drugs, rock and roll, booze, fun, all this kind of stuff. And so we meet we have this guy, and I'm sorry, I think the character's name was Marco, I think, and he gets together with these two girls, and they decide they're going to go off in the jungle, have themselves a little menage a trois, and it goes horribly wrong, and the three of them get brutally killed. And so then we get to our main story, and one thing I'm kind of glad that they didn't do. I remember them saying in the commentary that at one point, like, they did an edit of the movie where, like, it keeps jumping back and forth in time, and they said, yeah, they kind of abandoned that idea, which is a good thing. Especially, like, go watch the 2020 TV series of The Stand, and you'll realize, like, why that was a bad idea. But at least they didn't stick with it, and they just, they do it at the beginning of the movie, but then it goes in a more linear fashion. So then we're introduced to, we're going to be introduced to our main characters, but the main character of the movie is actually Kevin Heffernan's character, Lars. He's a new masseuse, and he comes onto the island, and he's, looking around. He's, of course, it's the first time he's been there, so he's lost. He's trying to figure out, where to go, what to do, and stuff. So, and then you meet the other characters from Broken Lizard. We have Sam, the fun police, Erik Stolhanski's character. You have DJ Dave, Paul Soter's character. We have Pittman, or is it Putman? I think it's Putman. Jay Chandrasekhar's character, and then we have Juan, Steve Lemme's character, and he comes in and he's filling in for this woman named Inga, and he meets Jenny, who's played by Brittany Daniels, which well, here you go. Here's another shot of her so you can kind of get an idea who Ginny is. And Ginny's really sweet and nice and friendly, and so she's like, "Oh, you're taking over for Inga. You better have some good moves." And it turns out he has like magic fingers. He's, like he can, he pretty much just barely puts his fingers on a woman, and she's able to orgasm and all this. And so it's like, yeah, he's doing really well as the new masseuse. And we're also introduced. Also, Jordan Ladd is in this movie. Jordan Ladd from Cabin Fever, Death Proof, Embrace of the Vampire, movies like that. She's in this movie too. And her character is named Penelope, but it's really funny because Juan, Steve Lemme's character, keeps calling her Penelope. So instead of Penelope, she's Penelope. And she's there, and she's kind of, she becomes kind of a red herring in the story, because she's kind of weird. She's a little off, and she's a little kind of socially awkward. So, people are kind of, so she becomes kind of one of the suspects. Like, is she the killer? Is she not the killer? Things like this. And then, so anyway, get to this island, and, everybody's having a good time. Everybody's, just, like I said, play all the time and stuff. And, it turned, and the main person here is Coconut Pete, Bill Paxton's character, and he's kind of this, I guess he's still doing music, but it's kind of like, you kind of get the idea that, yeah, he was this big musician in the day, and he's, done a lot of tours, done a lot of shows, and basically this is kind of his retirement, is to set up this resort island so everybody can come and have fun. Okay, so, things seem like they're going all right, but then as the movie progresses, we see that there's a mass killer. There are numerous references to other slasher movies, and, people start being killed off. And so then it's up to our team of, heroes here, along with Ginny, they all have to get together to find the killer, and it's a whodunit, who's the killer, and so they're kind of like trying to play detective and stuff like that, and bloody chaos ensues, and this movie does have a little bit of gore to it, and but anyway, yeah, that's pretty much the movie in a nutshell. It's basically your standard slasher movie. And like I said, the first time I saw it, I didn't like it because I was expecting pretty much full-on comedy, maybe with a little bit of a horror element. But like I said, what you really end up getting is you get a horror movie, a slasher movie that just happens to have a little bit of humor in it. And so, like I said, I had to watch it a couple of times, but they do have some good jokes in the movie. It's pretty funny, but like one of the things I didn't like was that, okay, like I said, with Bill Paxton's character, Bill Paxton is awesome in this movie. He is fantastic. He lights up the screen any second that he's on it. He's super funny. You get some really good jokes out of him and stuff like that. And some of his lines of dialogue are just phenomenal. I love the part, like what I was saying earlier in the video, where the girl's like, play Margaritaville, and he's like, you mean my song Pina Colada Bird that I recorded, was it like 2.5 years before Margaritaville was on the map, but you wouldn't know that because you weren't born yet. And MC Gainey plays, it's kind of like his buddy, kind of slash bodyguard, I guess, kind of roadie or something like that. So I was like, come on, man, let's go get a drink and everything else. And Bill Paxton's like, son of a bitch, motherfucker, just some of the lines of dialogue he has in this movie are amazingly funny. But yeah, the cast does a really good job. Broken Lizard, they're great as always. I think one thing that I think was kind of a little off-putting, though, for some people might have been, was that, okay, like if you watch Broken Lizard's movies, usually what they do is, you got the five guys, okay? You got your five guys. And then usually what they do is, one of the guys kind of becomes the lead character. He's like the, he's kind of more like the male kind of, heroic lead or romantic lead or something like that. In Puddle Cruiser, it was Steve Lemme. He was the lead character. He was kind of more the straight guy, while the four other guys were pretty much the comic relief. And then in Super Troopers, it's kind of a little bit back and forth. I would guess probably Soter Paul Soter was the straight guy in kind of the straight leading romantic guy in Super Troopers, while the other guys were, the comic relief. In this movie, Kevin Heffernan's character Lars, he's the main guy. He's the man of action. He's the guy, the kind of the leading man who's going to get the girl type and everything else, while the other characters are are the comic relief, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But the problem is like, I think this is one of the reasons why like some of the other movies kind of stand out. Heffernan, God, how do I say this without sounding mean? Heffernan is good as a lead character, but he's much better when he's one of the guys who's more the comic relief. If like he's good in this movie, he really is, but you miss the energy that he brings when he's one of the comic relief characters, especially like in Super Troopers 1 and 2 where he plays Farva. When he plays Farva, he's hilarious. I mean, you just can't help but laugh. And, also like Landfill in Beer Fest and movies like that. He's kind of really at his peak when he's doing the more comic relief stuff, and maybe one of the other guys is, one of the lead characters. So you kind of miss that energy when he's playing the straight man, when he's, he's not really doing the more funny stuff. You kind of miss that energy. But I get it. You do get that, like, eventually, like, in every movie, one of the guys is going to be the lead guy while the other ones are the funny guys. So I would say that was kind of a thing. But, so that was kind of one of my little nitpicks about the movie was that Heffernan wasn't playing one of his funny characters. But also, my biggest problem with this movie is that Bill Paxton, they did not use him enough. When he's in the movie, he's gold. He's fantastic. He, like I said, he brings energy any moment he's on the screen, and he's so fantastic. And they just, like, he's not in the movie enough, and they just, they didn't do enough with him. And unfortunately, he's gone now. And it's like, I would have loved to have seen, if that had ever been a possibility of maybe, like, I'm not saying like a Club Dread 2, but maybe like, like bring him, if he was still alive, maybe they could have brought him back and worked with him in another movie or something and give him more screen time. But as it is, he's awesome in this movie. And this movie's worth watching just for him alone. I mean, the Broken Lizard guy is awesome, but, hell, just for Bill Paxton alone is worth watching this movie for. You have a really good cast. Everybody does a great job. Brittany Daniels, gorgeous. She's lovely. Great for the main character. Jordan Ladd, she's a lot of fun in this movie too. You could definitely tell. I mean, all right, if you guys remember, a while back I reviewed Paul Soter had written and directed a horror movie called Dark Circles. And I reviewed it on the channel, and Paul Soter is a huge horror movie buff. And I don't know, I'm kind of wondering maybe all these guys were. Maybe all the guys in Broken Lizard love horror movies, but one of the reasons why they decided to do this movie. But Paul Soter is an admitted horror fanatic. And I just watched an episode of Tacoma FD that Paul Soter wrote, and it turns out, it definitely has a horror element to it, so you could kind of tell his horror side coming out. But like I said, you could tell that, he's already a horror fan, but I'm kind of guessing maybe all the guys might be, because this movie is very much a love letter to the 80s slasher movies. It truly is. There's a scene where you see kind of like a point of view of the killer, and the killer sees a mask and picks it up, puts it on. Then you see like the point of view through the mask, very much reminiscent of Halloween. We get the, even though it's twisted a little bit and it's done more for laughs, you get the campfire scene that you've seen in like Friday the 13th Part 2 and The Burning, where they're sitting around a campfire and they're telling the ghost story of what the killer is going to be, even though, the funny twist, or at least one of the funny twists is that, the killer on the island is, a guy named Phil Coletti. And so, and his choice of weapon is a machete. So you would think, they give him a nickname. So you would think, okay, Machete Coletti. That would sound like a right nickname, wouldn't it, for a killer? But instead, they decide to call him Machete Phil. So, missed opportunity at a cool, killer name. So it's kind of a joke, but still. But, yeah. Like I said, there's definitely references to. I mean, if you look at the killer here, you switch out kind of like the machete for a hook. It looks almost kind of like the killer from I Know What You Did Last Summer, kind of. But yeah, this movie is definitely a love letter to the '80s slasher movies, and it is playing along the lines of a whodunit, So, and some of the kills are pretty bloody and graphic and stuff. You do get some good gore in here, not a lot. Okay, it's not really a super gory film, but it does have some gruesome moments in it. But yeah, I mean, just like I said, I had to kind of get over it. The first time I saw it, like I said, I didn't like it, but then the more I watched it, I kind of had to get over my expectations of what I thought it was going to be and just kind of, look at it with fresh eyes and watch it for what it is. And then come to find out, I really do love this movie. And I really do love that, obviously, the love and, I don't know about respect, but yeah, maybe respect. But the love and the respect that the Broken Lizard guys have for the '80s slasher movies, and it's that's what this movie is. It's a love letter to that, and I would definitely recommend watching this movie. It's still fun, and you still get some good jokes in it. But and just like I said, don't really go into this movie expecting a super funny movie. Some of the jokes do land, some don't, but still, it's a really good movie. But yeah, just enjoy it as just approach it that way. Approach it like a good slasher movie that just happens to have some humor in it. But I would definitely recommend it. Yeah, and like I said, hell, just for the late great Bill Paxton alone, it's worth watching it just for that. So yeah, I think I've rambled on more than long enough. So if anyone took the time to watch this video, I thank you for doing it, and I appreciate you for doing it. I honestly hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave it a like. If you haven't already, go and subscribe to the Body Bags channel. We have a different reviewer, one for every day of the week. I'm the Saturday reviewer. Everybody's doing really good stuff. And yeah, that's it. Oh, and by the way, tomorrow is Halloween. So just wanted to take a moment to say happy Halloween to everybody. And please take care of each other, stay safe, and enjoy the holiday, because I know I will. Especially since I get the day off from work, I'm definitely going to enjoy it. So that's it, everybody. Take care, and I'll see you later.